Hiya, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy here from Toonpish Crafts and I hope you're doing okay. Recently I purchased some little ceramic dragons and I thought they would be absolutely gorgeous inside a dragon egg. So I decided to make them into dragon eggs. Well, at least one. I have a thing for dragons. I don't know if you know. It's just one of those things, I'm drawn to dragons. So yeah, I'm going to make a dragon in a dragon egg. Let's see where I go on with this. So these are the little Alisal giftware set that I purchased from Amazon. They are dinky little dragons and I think they're quite reasonable. I think they were $11.99 at the time of purchase. They will be linked in my Amazon storefront in the description box below, right at the bottom. Or if you go to toonpish.com, all my discount codes and links are on there too. These are adorable. They are quite small, which is exactly what I wanted. When you pour a huge amount of resin, you're going to need a deep pour resin, and they all have limits to how deep you can pour them. And I only wanted one pour. I didn't want lines, I didn't want joining lines, which I do tend to get if I pour 2 layers. But these are just so adorable, I had to try them. Have you ever thought to yourself, I've got to try this, I've got to try this? Yeah, that's what I was feeling when I saw these little dragons. They have to go in a resin piece, definitely. So I went to the shed and I cut a piece of Australian Mellow Burr. And I sanded down the top so that a little dragon could sit on top. Then I coated it with black paint. Now I could have used spray paint, it would have been a lot quicker, but at the time I didn't have any, and I just coated it with ordinary black acrylic paint. Now, as you know, when you colour anything, if you've got black behind it, it pushes the colour out. So I'm going to use some metal size glue and cover the black paint in that so that it creates a sticky surface. Once that's all done, you just have to wait for 45 minutes for it to go completely clear. Then you can use whatever colour you want. I'm going to be using Lathe Resin Intense Chameleon pigments for this. The colours that they come in are absolutely stunning. You've got blue, galaxy, they are vibrant colours. They do cost a little more, but you don't need so much. Dark magenta, that's one of my favourites. I do love that. Obviously it looks purple. Fairy green, that's not a popular one, but I still love it. And dark green. I'm not a green person, but look at that, gorgeous. I'm also going to use some Lathe Resin metallic powder, and I'm using the silver in that. So I've just chosen one of the colours, and you guessed it, it's dark magenta. It's absolutely my favourite colour. I do love this colour. And I'm going to colour part of this wooden base that has the stickiness to it, so it'll hold the colour down. And I'm going to mottle it with the silver. Now you won't see most of this base once the dragon is on the top, but I just love the effect that this gives. And I'm going to do it all in case there's a little bit underneath the dragon that you might see. If I'd have covered this piece of wood entirely in one colour, it wouldn't show off the colour so much. By putting the white highlights, or the silver rather highlights in there, it draws your eye to the colour. And also if you put too many colours in, it becomes a distraction. Of course, choosing the colours for your piece is entirely your choice. You might want to use a completely contrasting colour, in which case it will highlight your piece. Once that's all done, it's time to glue the dragon on top. I'm going to use BSI, Bob Smith Industries 2-part epoxy glue for this. I find it easy to deal with and it's quite quick setting, so I mix it up. It only takes half a minute or a minute to mix. And then I'm putting it on the base of the dragon and putting the dragon on top of the wood. This will keep it completely solid. This glue will not shift. And I mix it in a silicone cup so that's easy to remove from that as well. Making sure that it is in the centre. I do not want this little dragon off centre. When I'm happy, I just leave it to cure. So now it's time to pour some resin. I'm going to use JDiction epoxy resin for this. I do have a discount code for JDiction which is 10% off at checkout. It's on the screen, it will also be in the description box below. It's not strictly a deep pour resin, but it does pour deep enough for what I want. And I've poured a little bit inside this plastic cup already. I'm calling it a cup, it's actually a HDPE bottle that I've cut the top off of. I'm making sure I push the dragon right the way down as far as I can, and I'm filling the plastic bottle up with the rest of the resin. This is quite a large pour. You may not look it on the screen, but it is quite a lot of resin. And I leave it to cure in my pressure pot for 24 hours. The following day I mounted it to a waste block of wood. I centered it on the lathe and I started to turn. I used a mixture of traditional tools and carbides. I at one point chose the wrong carbide that wasn't a negative rake, and if you do turn resin on a lathe, a negative rake definitely stops chip out. I'm no expert turner. I'm still a new turner. I don't have all the skills for turning, but I'll let you watch this without me talking right the way through it. So sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy it. This took me a few hours to create on the lathe. I turned, I sanded, I polished, and I am over the moon with how it turned out. It looks completely different colour now it's in resin, but I love it. I absolutely love it. The jewel in the shield that the little dragon's holding has kind of disappeared because it was clear on the outside, but I'm happy with that. I don't mind. I absolutely love making this dragon. It sits in my living room very happily. And although I haven't made any more with the other 3 that I have, I still have them. And I will make them in the future. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope it's been a little different from you. And maybe you've learned something too. I think Friday this week I've got an extra video out. So don't forget to set your calendars and check that one out. And it will be a premiere, as I'm enjoying those so much. Anyway, come back and see me next week, because you never know what I'm going to be up to. I never know what I'm going to be up to. Have a great week, happy crafting, and bye for now.